May is National Small Business Month, and every year Nevada State Bank conducts a survey of those business owners to get their insight into the economy and where it's headed.
Here to reveal those results and what the data shows us is the bank's Executive Vice President of Business Banking, Megan Comfort. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So from this survey, what stands out the most to you, and how does it compare to what we've seen over the last few years?
Well, businesses are very optimistic. We're actually at a 5-year high on confidence in the national economy and also in the state's economy. So that's very exciting. It's not without some concerns and challenges that businesses have as they battle inflation and other cost increases, and then also just an element of economic uncertainty. But overall, they're continuing to be resilient and really positioning themselves for growth.
Yeah, you kind of spoke about the challenges they're facing, and you mentioned some points there. Is that everything that's encapsulated in what they're concerned about right now, or those things that they feel that are stacked against them?
I think it's more of just being aware of the challenges that they might be facing going into 2026. But overall, small businesses are really focusing on how do I still leverage opportunity and grow, like the use of AI. There was actually over 53% of businesses indicated that they've already been utilizing AI, and they've seen some real positive gains in their business since they've been using it. Another 35% have indicated that they plan on leveraging AI in some capacity this year as well.
Yeah, we see sort of what AI and the impact it's having for sure on businesses. How are the challenges that they're currently facing, though? How are business owners really adjusting their operations and strategies to deal with the higher costs and this ongoing certainty that's happening right now that we're seeing in the economic space?
I think more so small businesses right now, they're not trying to plan too far ahead, just because you can't really in this environment, right? There's all kinds of things that are thrown at you constantly on a regular basis that you need to be able to pivot. So I think they're focused more on how do I become as efficient as possible? How do I maximize capacity and provide tools, real tools for my existing employees that they can leverage so that we can stay in business? And then also other businesses have had to make decisions in the past 12 months to raise prices. So of the businesses interviewed, over 50% had indicated due to cost pressures, they did have to pass on a little bit of a price increase to their clients in order to remain profitable. So I think that they're just kind of taking it not necessarily day by day, but more week by week, month by month, and trying to figure out where is the opportunity, how do I leverage new tools that are out there, and how do I continue to stay relevant in today's environment.
Yeah, I would like to kind of go back a little bit to AI again. It shows up a lot in the survey, and obviously it's always a hot topic. There was just the commencement speech in Florida, which was kind of amusing, and people have different aspects, but clearly these small businesses are using it impactfully to assist them. So how exactly are they utilizing it as a resource?
Well, I've heard of small businesses using it for just small menial tasks of just writing emails, creating blogs, doing some market research, helping them identify gaps that are within their industry, doing some competitive analysis. And then I've also heard of other businesses actually creating some training tools, some training agents, being able to utilize it to actually get workforce development more up to speed and up to par to where it doesn't take more time away from other efficient workers, and they have real-time job training through AI models and different tools like that. It's allowing people to be able to produce at such a high level and not necessarily have to hire on as many bodies for administrative things, necessarily more of a cost center type of structure rather than focusing on more individuals that can help drive revenue. Mm-hmm. So there is no widespread, the data doesn't represent any widespread job loss. It actually shows of the businesses using AI, they actually need to hire more individuals.
Right.
Yeah. As we've explored these challenges and ways that small businesses are tackling these, how does Nevada State Bank really support small businesses, especially here in the state of Nevada?
Well, that's something that is my favorite subject to talk about, so thank you for that. But we really try to add value to all of the content that we push out to small businesses. One of them being actually our business podcast. It's called Through the Door, The Insider's Perspective on Running a Business. This month, we're actually airing an interview that we did with Jeremy Aguero. He's the managing partner of Applied Analysis, actually who we partner with on this survey. And he does a deep dive into the context and more of the data behind the charts and the information that you see in there, and how businesses are, I'm going to tear something out of there that he says, weaponizing optimism and leveraging that to help them grow.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Megan, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for sharing the results. And if you'd like to see them for yourself from the survey and to find out more about Nevada State Bank, just visit nsbank.com/survey.